धन्यवाद आंटी। आपने ये जो स्लाइड सिखाकर यहाँ पर हमारा एक तरह से ज्ञानवर्धन किया है, उसके लिए आपका आभार, क्योंकि प्रायः ये जानकारियाँ लोगों के मन में नहीं है और इसके कारण कुछ लोग अनायास भ्रम उत्पन्न करने की स्थिति करते हैं, जिसका समाधान इस पुस्तक के माध्यम से हो पाएगा। माननीय श्री सुरेश प्रभु जी केंद्रीय मंत्री हैं। वाणिज्य, उद्योग और नागर विमानन मंत्रालयों का महत्वपूर्ण दायित्व आप सफलतापूर्वक निर्वहन कर रहे हैं। राजनीति में सरलता और शुचिता के आप प्रतिमान हैं। अत्यंत व्यस्त होने के बावजूद भी उन्होंने यहाँ आने का अपना वादा पूरा किया और एक कार्यक्रम में उनको जाना है, फिर भी उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, ये स्लाइड शो देखकर और लेखिका का पूरा उद्बोधन सुनकर ही मैं यहाँ से प्रस्थान करूँगा। मैं उनसे विनम्र आग्रह करता हूँ, कृपया आएँ, अपने उद्बोधन से हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें, क्योंकि वे 3 विभागों के मंत्री तो हैं, परंतु उसके बावजूद बड़ी पैनी दृष्टि रखते हैं और कई विषयों के बारे में उनका एकदम स्पष्ट चिंतन है, जो हमें यहाँ देखने को मिलेगा उनके उद्बोधन में। और आज के हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में डॉक्टर विनय सहस्रबुद्धे को भी आना था, परंतु किन्हीं अपरिहार्य कारणों से वे नहीं आ पाए। उन्होंने इसके लिए अपनी असमर्थता प्रकट की है। हम आदरणीय सुरेश प्रभु जी को सुनने के उत्सुक हैं। मैं आग्रह करता हूँ, कृपया आएँ, हमें संबोधित करें।
डॉक्टर सरोज बालाजी, माय फ्रेंड शक्ति, प्रभात जी और यहाँ पर मौजूद सभी राम भक्त, और मैं कहूँगा हमारे सरोज भक्त भी, क्योंकि हम सब जानते हैं कि मंदिर में प्रवेश करने के पहले जब तक मंदिर का दरवाज़ा नहीं खुलता तब तक हम प्रवेश करके भगवान को प्रार्थना नहीं कर सकते। तो दरवाज़ा खोलने वाला भी अंदर बैठे भगवान उतना ही कभी कभी ज़्यादा अहम बनता है। टुडे Saroj ji has really opened a door of knowledge, and we already had a faith in Rama, but today with this book, even those who may not be believing in him will have conviction that not only he lived, but each and every part of his life has been truly depicted in many scriptures, and now it is proven by irrefutable evidence of science by Suresh Balaji. So I think all those who believe in Ram must thank her for contributing to this book and making this happen, because even after that, everybody, it is said that maternity is a speculation, is a certainty, and paternity is a speculation. Even those, if everybody keeps coming and telling, prove me, how is your mother, how is your father? After some time, even the devoted child will start feeling, what is this? Why are they asking me questions like this? And there, this particular book, I think is the first effort of this kind, which now dispels all this so-called false propaganda and deliberate attempts to make us believe that yes, you can worship Ram, but he never existed. And I think book like this could have been written only in India. It cannot be written in any other country. For example, Ram is our forefather, he is our most devoted, we are all devoted to him. But any other country in the world, you think somebody will have to make an effort to prove us scientifically that someone who millions and almost 1 billion people believe in He has to be proved scientifically that he existed. There is no other country in the world, no society in the world, there would be need to write a book like this. But we have a people who deliberately want to challenge and deliberately to say that he never existed. There was somebody, politician, who said Ram never existed. But after some time he said he was a drunkard. How could someone who never existed could be a drunkard to begin with? But even in a country like this can happen. And therefore, I think we all those who live in India, owe it to her that she has now proved with scientific evidence. And why was the science necessary? Does anybody ask us that please prove that you are a child of these parents? Do DNA tests, prove biologically how you exist? But therefore I said this can happen only in India, and therefore such a book could have been written only in India. And who has written it? All of you know, of course, she was a very distinguished revenue service officer. She was a member of the Central Board of Direct Taxes. A person who spent all her life in the government, and normally after spending so much of life in the government, people really look forward to. I know many officers who, the last year of their posting, they look forward to what can I get after retirement, which regulatory body, any commission, somewhere I can get posted. She was waiting to retire so that she can devote her energy for writing a book of this kind. And it is based, each and every word written in this book is based on research. Either it is anthropology, archaeology, architecture, geology, you name the science, and each one of that has been derived from that. In fact, the other day she was telling me that many of these findings that she has made as a scientific finding, I said, where did you find it? She said, it's all lying in the archives. But we didn't want to go through it because we had running an agenda. We wanted to prove that this is all a myth, nothing is real. And therefore, this world, where, as I said, no child is asked to prove every day that prove your parents. How do you make that you are son of this father and this mother? But in India it can happen, and only to counter this vicious, fallacious campaign, she had to write a book like this. And here now you could see some few slides. Just imagine those who believe in astrology or those who believe in science. For them it's an eye-opener. Now how do you make sure, how do you counter this? That this is proved beyond doubt that on the particular day the planetary position was like this. Now what is the date where it is derived from? That nobody had a capacity to write a planetary position like this. And therefore this is now a completely corroborated and unchallenged evidence which is now put forward before us. I don't know how to thank her. There are millions of Ram Bhakts who do Ram Leela year after year. The Ram Kathas are recited for thousands of years. But all of them could not produce a book like this. To say that, he'll say, don't ask me this. And that is correct. If somebody is saying that don't ask me this, he's absolutely right. Why should I believe in my Ram? I know exactly he was there. Why should I say something? But those people also should be indebted to her. That all these years, thousands of years that we have been doing this, year after year, you go to, I was surprised in Delhi. There are some 300-400 Ram Leelas in Delhi. In UP, Bihar, I don't know how many. So this is going on for years after years. This is our belief or faith, but unfortunately some people challenged it, and therefore this book had to be written. At a time when the birthplace of Ram is fully proved, even the court it is proved, Now it's a time that we want to make sure that that particular place becomes a place of worship, because where you will worship? You will worship at a place where there is a place to worship. You will not go to worship, like for example, if I go to my family house, when you find roots, you go to a family house. Can you go to a family house which is not my family house? If I want to visit my family house, where I will go? I will go to my family house. So if you want to worship at a place, obviously you will worship at a place where there is a birthplace. And a birthplace is proved. And now I think even judiciary will have to depend on this book. They will have to see this evidence, which is completely scientific, and we now believe so-called science. But I think even there is no need for something like this. But as I said, in India we needed it. And therefore I think this book again is going to help us. Even I'm sure for all those who are judicious minded to get convinced that there is no other reason not to believe in this particular book. So I really thank her for this. As a income tax commissioner, I'm sure she would be doing a lot of scrutiny, because income tax returns are subject to scrutiny. So I think this book is also as a result of her mind of doing that scrutiny of new ideas and doing it. And I think she has used all her technical skills to go below the surface and find a truth and bring it to the fore. And that's why I really wish to thank her and congratulate her. We are very fortunate that we are such a distinguished scholars amongst us. Because we have been seeing, and she used that word correctly, very deliberate attempt to distort our history. There is no other country in the world that would have been subjected to such huge crimes. We have an International Court of Justice to try war crimes. I don't know what kind of crime is this, to distort a real history. Now, to prove that, your book has come to a rescue, that this is how it actually was. Just imagine what is the effect of that distortion. Today, we want to believe, and she has written that other book, that Dravidians are here where the Aryans came from outside. All of this has created such a rift in the society for no reason. And this is a deliberate attempt to make this happen. And now, one way to fight it, you can go to the streets and fight it. But other way to do it is to do an exercise like this. Now let somebody come forward and say this is not right. This is the only way we should try to counter it. And I'm sure this book will be a great contribution, not only to our faith in Ram gets even more strengthened, that always was there. But now to hit back at these deliberate attempts made by these very spurious kind of people who have been working on this very deliberately. So I think we are really thankful to Suresh Balaji for doing something like this, and really, really eternally grateful to you for doing this. All of those who know her will not be surprised. She's the most dedicated and committed person. She has been doing this for no expectation, nothing. She just wanted to write this book as her duty as an Indian, as a person who lived in India, who knows what was the reality. So she is only trying to put truth before the people with evidence that is really so strong. I think it's our duty now. And I was telling that day to some people, what is that we should do? I think there should be a proper campaign. I am happy that Jay Kumar is here. He is from Vigyan Bharati. I think this is a book of science. But all the Parivar people must come together. And every district, I think we should organize a seminar on this book. Let everybody come and challenge it. Let somebody come and say this is not true. What is not true? Show us what is not true. Why? Let them come and challenge it. So we should now use it as a tool for people to come and say, please tell me which of this part of the book you are saying is not correct. Bring evidence. Don't say just like that. So this is how our history has been distorted deliberately without any substantiation. People just came out with a theory, first decided I want to do this theory, and then they decided to bring out with some concocted stories. So this is how the history has been written for India. So today, we have such a strong book, science, evidence, everything, modern science. NASA, she has used even NASA imageries, satellite imageries. So now, I think what we should do, every district of India, we must have seminars on this. Let's go house to house and tell people, well, this is the book, you want to believe in it or not. Why? Because there has been deliberate attempt. That's why I'm saying this was not necessary had there not been such a deliberate attempts to counter it. And we have to counter it. So therefore we must do this. And I really therefore feel this is our duty now, because she has done a great job, written this book, taken so much of pain, and Prabhatji, as always, has now printed, he has been doing publishing books of this kind only. He never publishes any book about what something happened, this some scandal, something, nothing. He writes book purely for such subjects. And therefore, very luckily, book is also released by, in a place, Shakti is there. So I think all the planetary position in the right place. Shakti is there, Saroji is there, Prabhaji is also. So now our job is to take advantage of this good planetary position and take it to the right kind of people. First, not necessarily to all districts, at least whatever think tank. I think if you think Shakti is appropriate, we can call one seminar little later. Call even those people who deliberately are trying to counter it and try to put them in front of us. Let us talk to them and try to know what voices you are saying he never existed. I think this could be a right way to do correction to a historical distortion. And therefore it's really necessary that we must do it and do it as far as possible. That's one step. Second, as I said, try to show this to as many people. Even district level, the journalists, we should try to have a program for them and tell them, sir, this is a book which has been written with this such an evidence. There should be reviews of this all over. And that's the only way we will be doing our duty towards the posterity. Because after some time, if this book was not written, this kind of false propaganda, deliberate attempts could prevail. Sometimes you never know. Because people after all sometimes say, ye log aise bolte rehte. But now, with this, nobody has any chance of saying this. But to do this, we must actually run an aggressive campaign to do this. And we are willing to be part of this. And I think this should be our real responsibility towards making it happen. So we are extremely proud, and she was saying very interesting thing. How Ram became God. See, because what is the perception of God? The God, we all believe that everybody is a God. That's what we believe in. We say, हमारा आत्मा परमात्मा के साथ लिंक हो जाता है तो सब हो जाएगा. तो परमात्मा और आत्मा का लिंक है ही है. So everybody, human being, could be a God. This is what Gautam Buddha had said, that everybody can be Buddha. You don't have to be anybody. You can be Buddha, I can be Buddha. Ram was such a perfect person that he became God, because perfection is God. That's what he reached that stage. And therefore, we believe him in as a God for a simple reason, because we know his personality, his life, his complete journey. He traveled all his life. We know exactly each part of that, and that's why we worship him as a God. Because we know he was a completely perfect human being who lived and did everything that a human being should be doing, and therefore he becomes our ideal also. And therefore, I really wish it's our duty as a devotee to Ram as a God. We must try to do this, and this is the best way to perform it. So Ram Navami is once in a year. But I think we really want to pay our homage to him. We should try to do it, and at least every person can find one day in a week, try to take important parts of this book and try to convince others that this is what it is written. Now, what you have to say about this? I think this will be really necessary, and particularly, and Shakti, I think that is what we can do. We can join hands, India Foundation, everybody, we can come together and get those people who have been deliberately spreading misinformation and try to counter them with this book. This is our armory. This is what we should try to do it, and we'll really try to make it forward. So once again, we are very fortunate that we are such a great person as our colleague who has been doing such a fantastic work. She keeps writing. She's working on some other book. She wants to do this. And she could also write on many things. She could have written on commentary on Income Tax Act. That she could have done better way. And that will also sell better because chartered accountant like me will go and buy such a book. But she has decided to work on subject like this. I think this is on behalf of all of us. So this is our duty to take it forward. So ji, thank you very much. I don't know why you invited me to launch this book anyway. But I think as Ram Bhakt, this was my responsibility and duty to come and do this. I really thankful to you. Thankful to all of you for being here. I really look forward to taking this message forward till such time that this deliberate propaganda and misinformation campaign stops. Thank you very much.